Okay, so I laid down the gap filler, and then I didn't like how some of the gap wasn't quite filled, so I mixed up a little bit thinner version and laid down a little bit more all across. That set for a day. Didn't need to set for a day, but it had some other things going on. Now it's time to sand it, but sanding is boring, so we'll come back when it's all sanded and nice and smooth, so that we just have a little bit after left there. I did use a tip that Vans has in their video. I used a plastic razor to sort of shave some of this while it was a little bit gummy. Not gummy, but like just starting to be solid, because that makes the sanding portion easier, but it really isn't needed. Okay, so with filler's done, sanding's done. There's a few areas that are a little bit low, but I think I'm okay with that. Overall, we'll add some extra strip here that'll sort of fill that. There's like a 1/4 inch wide strip that we're using that goes like 41 inches or 43 inches across, to fill some of those slightly low areas. Big deal here is, again, the Vans video tells you this, but like you're gonna have a good amount of metal and plastic showing. You don't want to be fiberglassing over filler where you can help it. Filler is literally just to transition to fill that void that would happen here and here. So yeah, it's time to start dividing up some fiberglass, and then get it laid up, I guess. Oh, welcome back to Bald Man Building an Airplane, or Two Bald Men Building an Airplane. My father's coming around to help this time. One comment about the channel: if you notice the new colors in the thumbnail, the change is because decided we were going to change the color that the plane was going to be painted. Still blue, but probably a green instead of an orange. Blue, white, green. Yeah, it's sort of Seattle Seahawks, but not really. There's no gray. Whatever. Anyway, so my dad has done a lot of fiberglass work in his life, boats and other stuff like that. He's done a lot of car body work and stuff, so figured I'd have him over. He was in town to sort of supervise what we're doing here. What I'm doing here is actually something I found on Kilroy's channel, and that's dividing up the cloth. You can see the lines in it, and that's because I'm pulling a single thread, or not a single thread. I'm pulling a thread bundle out from the end to make perfect lines in the cloth to cut, because you need certain widths of cloth for later on. So I'm just going to cut those with a nice little rotary cutter here, and we've got a like a sort of piece of PVC sitting in the other portion of the garage, and that's where I'm just hanging those up so that we can come back to them later. I'm gonna start this by saying this day was a mostly failure. We didn't follow the instructions well enough when it came to the first layup, and because of that, we had to retreat and come back again the next day. But that's okay. You learn from your failures and you get better. So Vans provides this template that we are laying out onto the fiberglass here. And it's make these shapes on your fiberglass, cut them, along, this way with the weave of the cloth, and that way with the weave of the cloth. And then basically there's one of them right there. It's B, C, I think there's an A, there's maybe a D. But the point is that you don't want to change the shape of them as you're cutting them. And I think we already have made the mistake, because
they're laying on the table and they've been stretched a little bit. Or maybe it's the two big ones that are over there on the left side of the table with the beer. Maybe it's not beer. It's probably not beer yet. This is probably early afternoon. Yeah, I think it's the wider ones because those go around the outside edges here. And what you do is you lay them down on some saran wrap, and then from there you wet them out with some tinted epoxy. So a couple of things. This was another new thing for me was when you mix up a decent amount of epoxy for this kind of a project, it's actually quite surprising how quickly it goes off and it heats itself up in a cup, and it just starts to, it like creates a chain reaction. Anyway, so we got the saran wrap laid out and just taping up the front of the fuse there because we're going to get freaking epoxy everywhere. So these are the shapes. Yeah, these are the shapes, the wider ones they had off to the side there. You really want to make sure that they stay the same shape as the template. And the Vans video calls this out. Be very careful when applying your epoxy and your tinted epoxy to these pieces. As I'm doing here, we sort of dabbed it, and the one on the straight piece was fine. But you can see with the curved pieces, we're sort of like wiping it a little bit, and that is causing them to sort of like stretch out a little bit. We really want to just really dab it and like put it on super wet. And then another thing is when you pull them apart, it's like we just did there, don't let them hang. Because if you let them hang, they change shape. And, oh, yeah, look at that. It just like went super thin. So I put it on, and within an hour, I knew it wasn't going to work. So I just basically took the whole darn thing off, and we're going to start again tomorrow and do it right. See you then.